Yeah, I have an apartment over there.
Oh,
me and him have an apartment. Yeah, so we go to Disney all the time. Well,
I thought you was pointing to Marvin. I would have been like, Marvin, you ain't fucking telling me that you was over here investing next to fucking Orlando.
Yeah.
Shout out. How you like the numbers on there, Orlando?
That was good. I mean, we've been renting for like a year.
Okay.
With the goal, we're gonna buy, start investing and buying, and not Airbnb type, but just, more like a rental. Yeah, like a rental property, but not for Airbnb.
Crashed down there a little bit, like for the most part.
Yeah, so
it's a different market down there.
Learning it, you know what I mean?
Your boys down there. Your brothers down there.
My cousins down there.
Yeah.
Lauderdale area.
Yeah. So I realized I don't have to have a mortgage to live down there. I could just rent. Correct. And still soak up all that network, the leads, the market, the
vibe down there.
So
tired of this shit.
Yeah. Jersey's crazy.
We'll get into where you was
let's get into
raised and so on and so
forth. Let's start off with that. Upbringings.
Yeah, bro. Whatever. And then time-wise, what is it like?
Up to 2.
Well, at this point,
so
we got like 40 minutes.
40 minutes. Okay. Cool.
I'm doing this like while I'm in court right now. Can't make this up. I know. Pain in the ass.
Testing is good, Marv. All right.
Check. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Alrighty. Come on, court. Oh, perfect. Okay. All right. So I may have to step in for literally 30 seconds, but aside from that, we are good to go.
Should we just pause the video while you do that?
No. I'm gonna set it up. Like, I'm gonna set it up, and then like we'll be completely fine. It's just to like talk to the prosecutor for a registration sticker for fucking 2.5 weeks ago, which is annoying, but whatever.
All right, let's kick it off.
All right, cool. Let me know when you're ready, Mar. Good? Camera-wise? All right. Ready when you are, or just count us down. What's going on, everybody? Another episode of the Real Estate Blueprint Podcast. I am your humble host, Austin, a.k.a. More Than an Agent, here with my Dominicano hermano, John Soto. John does real estate. How we doing?
Amazing, man. Blessed.
Give me a win. You know I love wins.
Couple wins. Deals are good. Family's good. Kids are good.
Yeah.
Life is good, man.
All wins. Listen, on this amazing episode, we are always invested in making sure that we bring you extreme value when it comes to buying, selling, investing, building your portfolio. Continuously being able to do deals, expand your real estate empire, which is why we're called the Blueprint Podcast. On today's show, awesome guests, please, whatever you're doing, stop it, because I need y'all to tap in. Before anything, like, comment, subscribe, share. Let's keep sharing the sugar. Today's episode is definitely going to be filled with gems. And today's guest, I want to be clear, while me and shout out to Johnny, who's also a real estate agent on the team, while we were down in Atlantic City for the Triple Play Conference, actually, today's guest had a booth in which he was making sure that he stays tapped in with the community, everybody that was walking by as a vendor. And I remember coming up, I'll never forget, when we was tapping, I was like, yo, listen, I've been following you for a while, been listening to everything. I actually joined the program as well. And at that point, I was like, yo, bro, like, if you got one, do you have an extra hoodie back there? I'll pay for it. And he didn't have the size, and I think black, that I asked for at the time. And he was like, I ain't got black, bro, but you know what? I appreciate the support, so on and so forth. If you'll take red, I got a size for you. I was like, I'll take red. And here's the here's the hoodie that we're actually wearing on today's episode. Today's guest, listen, served as a Marine in the Marine Corps, 16 years. Started back in 2010, which I can't wait to actually tap into that. And has been an astute scholar in the credit space, credit rebuilding, credit repair, credit advancement. Today's guest, ladies and gentlemen, Jose Rodriguez, aka the Credit Dude. How are you, boss?
What's going on, brother? Thank you so much for that, man. I really appreciate that. Yeah, it brought me back to Triple Play, man, a few years ago, man.
That was like 4 years ago.
Yeah,
that
man.
was a couple years
Brings
ago.
me back. I definitely got the merch. That's definitely something in the pipeline for 2026. Bringing some of the merch back. So I appreciate
It's
that.
an amazing thing, man. I didn't get a chance to grab the one that's like a Amex Visa, like and
The cash debit Amex, yep. Cash debit Amex, yep.
That's that, man. Listen, whenever you do, man, please. I would love to continuously tap in, man. Let's get started here. Bring me back roots wise, because this is 2010. In which you started the credit repair space.
Yep.
So you got to think about this, right? Contextually, 2010, we're 2 years after a major housing collapse, which I'm pretty sure people in general are clearing the fire, right? Phoenix is like coming out from the ashes, and people are starting to rebuild their financial lives and financial like profile. Run us through everything 2010. Were you in New Jersey? Were you like bring us through that?
Yeah, no, what's crazy, man, is I got out the Marines in 07, and I got like a
and thank you for your service, by the
thank you,
way,
man.
for every single
Appreciate
individual
that.
that comes on there. Absolutely, 150%.
Thank you.
It goes completely underappreciated, which I think America needs that 100, like just do a much better job at. And for anybody that has not taken that oath or doesn't sign up for that true test of loyalty, we appreciate you, and we are extremely appreciative of every single service in that particular case. It's very important. I think every single American needs to feel the extreme amount of gratitude.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I mean, the Marines definitely shaped me to who I am today. When I got out, I was like 20, I think I was like 23, 24. And the stuff that I had already done and accomplished at that age set me up to where I was like years ahead of my peers. Because it just put me in a different bracket mentally. Not so much physically, because physical shape is great, but mentally, I was already so many years ahead. So when I started doing the credit repair stuff and I started being a business owner and taking a risk, like I had already did risk. I risked my life at 18. I took risks. I was a martial arts instructor. I was a recruiter. So risking my life for my business, it was easy because I already served my country. I signed at the dotted line to thank God. And when you say unfortunately, every Marine's job is to become a rifleman, and that job is to go to war. I didn't go to Iraq or Afghanistan, but I still served my country, and I took a risk. I knew that one day I might. And when I wanted to start my business and I wanted to take that risk in 2010, and everybody's like, no, don't do it. I'm like, what do you mean don't do it? The same thing when I went to the Marines. No, don't do it. Stay home. If I would have stayed home and I went to the Marines, what would I have done? Nothing.
True. You were in a whole different life right now.
Whole different life. I know I wouldn't be sitting here with you right now. So then when I wanted to start my business and everybody's like, no. I'm like, no, this is the same thing. I'm taking another risk. And you have to be able to put yourself in a position to where if the people around you have never done what you've done, how can they ultimately give you advice on what you should be doing? They're comfortable. They never took a risk. So when I started my business in 2010, I didn't know it was going to be what it is today. It's 16 years ago. I honestly didn't know. I worked for the government. I started my business like $500, and I was like, oh shoot, credit repair. Like, oh wow, my mom was my first client. Deleted a bankruptcy from a credit report from when we were younger, and not really knowing what I was doing. And I had fixed my own credit, whatever the case is. But when it's time to start a business, when somebody says like, yo, my stepdad, he did show me a few things, and he's like, yo, start an LLC. I'm like, what the heck is an LLC? What's a business? What's an EIN? What are you talking about when it comes to this business stuff and the IRS? And you think of the IRS as the enemy. You know what I mean? So when I started my business in 2010, I was working for the government, and it was like a side hustle, whatever the case is. And when I started picking up a little bit of traction in August of 2012, I was working for the government, working for the VA, and I quit, took another risk. So starting the business is a risk, and I was working for the government. But when I quit my full-time job as a GS9, another risk. Family, what are you doing? You're quitting the government. You're crazy.
Guaranteed money, benefits.
Especially as a
else?
GS9, which is
Yeah,
like
it's
their pay
higher.
scale.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was making good money.
It's their pay scale grade.
Yeah.
It goes to 10 or
GS9, the GS11, and
Yeah, okay.
GS13, and I'm like, if I was making the money I would be making now, like looking back on it, I'm like, yeah, I don't know how I was surviving because what I'm making now, I got payroll, I got the cars, I got insurance, I got taxes. People were my family's comfortable living a certain life. You know, my aunt did 30 years for the FDA. You know, have another cousin that works for the government. Kudos, like that's like work. That's like doing 30 years in the military. You know what I mean? But for me, I have to continually push the envelope. I have to push my boundaries. I kind of like thrive in like stress and chaos and like working outside and being uncomfortable and like. You know, when things are normal, I freak out. I'm like, nah, I need chaos. I need to be stressed. But some people like that, like 9 to 5, go to work, check out. Whatever. I can't do that, and that's what credit repair and owning a business. That's what it brought me. It allowed me to do and have certain conversations with people where I had to figure out how can I help this person. Nobody's giving me the blueprint. This is a blueprint show, right? I had to find the blueprint for thousands of people, and that's where I'm at. 16 years later, I mean, I couldn't. If you would have, I'm like, man, why didn't I do this at 17? But I wouldn't have gone through what I went through to be where I am right now, to have the pains and the struggles and the heartbreaks, to be able to help everybody and for me to never quit.
Well, what got you into credit? I know you just started in 2010, but
Yeah.
like what directed you that way? Did you have bad credit? Did you have good credit? What was
I had horrible credit at 18 because my dad, unfortunately, you know, we shared the same name. And, you know, Jose, I'm a junior. We're both born in May. We shared the same address for so many years.
So judgments come up of the wazoo for you.
Yeah,
then.
man. So like when I'm 18 in Japan applying for a camera, I'm at Navy Federal. All my dad stuff jumps on my credit report at 18. I'm like, what the heck? Once again, when my stepdad had told me about LLC, they're like, bankruptcy, collection. I'm like, credit report, Equifax. What are you talking about, man? I'm 18. I'm a Marine. You know what I mean? Like, I can get whatever I want. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, I get whatever I want. What you mean I got to apply for a credit card? You know, I'm at the bank. Nobody. Yeah. So with all that, it taught me, like, this stuff I don't know. Even as a Marine, even as an 18-year-old that's in Japan and, like, so when I started having bad credit, I started to fix it myself. I got like a book on credit repair for dummies. This is what big one like eBay was big, AOL. This was like before, you know, I had to go on my government computer and try to figure stuff out. And it took me like a good 10 years to figure things out on my own. You know what I mean? But then that's when I started like researching stuff. I found this guy named Mike Citron on Google, started my business, started learning. And what took me 5, 6, 7 years, I was able to package it up into like a 6 to 12 month program, and then that's where the company started.
Nice. So that was before YouTube University, right?
Oh, way before.
That's Dummy University.
Yeah. I wish I would have known about YouTube back then. You know what I mean? It would have been years ahead, but I don't think 2002.
That
I don't know if it was
around.
that big back then or accessible.
I mean, obviously, it's an easy transition, but obviously, you said it before, where when you're talking about serving in the Marine Corps, like people think like the physical, and like they think like, but obviously in any particular case, wherever the mind goes, the body goes, right? So in this case, mindset-wise, discipline, finances, credit, right? Like it's all intertwined, essentially, right? I'm pretty sure that has some bearing effect. Do you wholeheartedly believe that credit, before we go into the mechanics of it, is just purely a discipline thing? Like, because I only say that because like some people don't even realize that they're following the discipline. They just follow the rules of the game. But I guess for more so the people that when you're helping individuals that either messed up their credit or got too deep, was it mainly a discipline thing, or maybe something that, for example, if somebody's credit is completely fine and then they have a major car situation and then it costs them $7,500 or $10,000 to fix that situation, they charge it on the credit card, right? But they've been responsible this whole way through. And then over time, either they're not paying it off correctly or something happens. Do you find that more of your clients are from lack of discipline, or like a one-time event or quarter that just was bad monetarily?
Yeah, no, that's actually a really great question because I normally lump people up into 3 categories.
Okay.
Because they do fall into 3 because it's not just one.
Yeah.
It's either you had the lack of education, which
Okay.
me, I didn't know what an LLC was. I didn't know what Equifax was, bankruptcy. So I didn't even know how to manage credit because I had the lack of education. So I didn't know. So like at that point in time, if you don't know, and when you teach, then the discipline comes in. So it does always route to discipline, right? So like,
Right.
if I didn't know something, but then somebody's teaching it to me, and I choose not to adapt it, that's lack of discipline. That's on me. Second part is, if I do have a life event with money, then I have to change certain habits, right? So that's the second category. One is discipline. Second is money. So then if I have lack of money, a loss of job, whatever the case is, then what do I have to change I have to get disciplined in to cut certain things out. Sell this, get rid of that, cut the subscription, maybe do 2 or 3 side hustles, right? And get the money back. It might take 12 months, it might take 24 months, but you have to be disciplined in order to get. You can't be buying bottles and you can't be buying, what is it, designer clothes, and you might have to say no to a trip, and you might have to scrounge for a little bit, right? And then the third part is some people just don't care, to be honest. Some people, I've really had people that just say, Jose, honestly, bro, like, I don't care about my credit. I don't really care. I'm going to use this person's credit. I'm going to use my cousin's credit. I'm going to use my girl's credit. I don't really care about my credit report, so just... how can I use this person's credit? Once again, lack of discipline. So what you're saying, you kind of hit the nail on the head. It all reverts back to discipline. Because if you have lack of knowledge, and I show you, you have to be disciplined to create those daily habits. If you have lack of money, you have to be disciplined to cut expenses and increase your revenue one way or another. And if you don't care, you have to be disciplined to care, because if you don't have the discipline, I can tell you that 800 credit score, that 750 credit score is never going to happen, because when your bill comes in, I don't really care. You know what? Let me max this card out. I don't really care about this collection. I don't really care about that, because credit is your promise to pay people back. So how can you expect a bank to lend you $25,000, $500,000 if you're not disciplined enough to show them, all right, I made these mistakes a year, 2, 3 years ago, 5 years ago, but now look at the last 12 months. Look at what I've done. I'm disciplined. I have money in the bank. I save money. I have reserves. I have good credit. I have a secure credit card. I have a credit builder account. And I'm disciplined to where don't judge me in my past. Judge me on what I've done the last 12 to 24 months. And that's the power of credit. You can mess up in 3 years and in 12 months change your entire life.
When it comes down to customers, what from on a personal, like, emotional, like, attachment to your business, what tier or what category hurts you the most?
As
Like,
in what?
emotionally, meaning from like, damn, I wish they just knew that, if you can just switch this, like, you'll be okay. Like, for example, in the real estate space, because we still got to do our jobs, obviously, and the type of client, or like as far as types of clients, are the ones when you're dealing with like a death, and you're like. And they call you and they're like, yo, and you're like, all right, like you're excited to help,
right.
But then you're like, damn, like, why couldn't this be like, yo, I'm getting ready to move from New Jersey. I just started a company down in Florida. We're about to go bust that move, right? And you're like excited, like, when you're dealing with a little bit more emotional weight,
Right.
Which particular category gives you that most emotional weight?
Where, like, I get like sad type of thing, like emotional.
Correct. Even though, like, you still have to do the job and still have to service people, but which, like, category, if there is, I don't know. But
so you're saying from my end or from the client's end?
From your end, like, which one, like, do you feel the emotional bearing and the emotional weight of, like, when you are helping them?
I guess you can say I get like really. I take it back and look at it where when people just can't pay.
Okay.
Meaning when somebody says like, yo, Jose, I'm trying, bro, but like, I know I have a late payment, but I couldn't pay it. Or like, yo, I just got laid off from my job. Or like, because I look back at like my mom.
Okay.
When my mom was trying, and it's not like my mom was like a spender. Because there are some clients that are like, yo, I got a late payment, but then you look on Instagram.
Right.
You know what I mean?
They just came from Dubai.
Right. Or they came from a trip, or they you have expensive clothes on. But then you have the mom with 2 kids.
Yeah.
You have the father that's trying to win back custody of his kids, and he's trying, he gets late. So it's like I have like an emotional, like it hurts me because I see like my family, I see my you know, my brothers, I see my mom, I see my cousins and my clients when they're going through something that they can't control.
And they're genuinely trying.
And they're genuinely
like,
trying.
Genuinely trying.
And I'm like, I'll see a client's credit report and I'm like, Dad, you got a late payment for $50. Like,
that's the one.
that's like, it's like, oh man, like I would like, and in my mind, I'm like, Dad, I wish I had the money to be like, yo, nobody ever has a late payment again. Here's 50, here's this. But that's not going to help them long term because then something has to happen emotionally or like something has to happen in their life to where they can protect themselves from that ever happening again.
Yes.
So when they have a $25 late payment, unfortunately, something happened 3 months ago. It didn't just happen that month. You could have prevented something 3-4 months ago where it's kind of like, let me prevent this late payment. So what the thing is, going back to what you're saying is, and this is like something that people could maybe do right away is, when you sign up for a credit card, my dad taught me this. Go figure, right? My dad credit, and then he taught me credit stuff, right?
That's the irony of every situation.
Did you know when you get a credit card, there's credit protection?
Okay.
So if you lose your job, if you get hurt, or if something happens to you, when you sign up for your credit card, there is something that says, would you like credit protection on this account? It costs you pennies on the dollar every month. So you're paying for it every month. So if you get sick, if you lose your job, you have a job, something happens, insurance, you can call your credit card company up and say, hey, listen, my account has credit protection. Can you activate it for the next 6 months? They'll make your payment for the next 6 months on the card. Now that prevents a late payment. So this is where I'm saying you didn't know, a late payment didn't just occur now. Something happened where you could have prevented it. And that's where I'm the educational part, where I'm trying to take the emotional side, where I'm like, oh man, like not getting mad at the client, and I don't want the client to feel frustrated. Right. But it's like, hey, listen, see if your account has credit protection and see if they can reactivate it or retrograde it and see if they can remove that late payment. You know what I mean? So that's kind of like what I'm saying, where it's kind of like, I see the pain. How can I solve? How, the blueprint. How can I? All right, because what the client's late for the next 4 months? They don't got a job. How are they going to pay it? I got to find a solution. Right. Did you have credit? Oh my God, I got credit protection. And that one nugget, that one gem, or whatever you want to call it, that my dad taught me, helped me save a lot of clients, and even myself. I'm not without distress or trauma. Correct. I've used credit protection myself over the last couple of years, and it works.
So you can activate it after a late payment?
Depending on the creditor, you can activate it after, but it doesn't always get rid of the late payment. Because once you're late, you're late.
Fair,
you know what I mean? So you should, but you can activate it
after you open the card.
Right? No, when you got to do it from inception,
from the very beginning.
When you open the card.
Does that work for personal and business credit?
Yep. When you do it personally, so you can't like opt out of credit protection and then now, oh yeah, I'm late. You activate the credit protection.
Got it.
You got to do it from inception as you open the card.
Get a jail free card. You gotta make sure.
And they don't live. Do they like?
Why would they advertise that?
You?
Yeah,
I'm trying to think of it.
Well, it's a big disclosure.
Yeah, anytime you apply for the card and it says authorization, it says, do you want to add an authorized user? Do you want to add credit protection?
It's like when you're booking a flight. It's asking you for,
And they're doing that always select no. Right?
Yeah. Always.
And you always like,
anytime.
It's
always get it.
It's always when you need it.
Always get the credit protection on flights, on travel, the insurance, anything. But obviously, when you book with a certain credit card, you get insurance too.
You get that anyway.
Always get it.
Is there anything similar for like cars? Like someone taking a car out? Is there anything similar to that, like protection wise?
As far as
like payments.
Well, right now, I mean, if you have a car payment and you know you're going to be late, call them up and get a forbearance or deferment because they will give it to you. Because the COVID stuff is still in act. It's called the CARES Act.
There.
You can still get.
It's still.
So the CARES Act is still in motion, and it's still in motion till I believe it's 120 days or 180 days after they declare that the coronavirus or COVID thing is done. It's not done yet.
Correct.
It's not over.
Correct.
So you can call your you can call your mortgage company up, you can call your auto loan company up right now and get a forbearance or deferment. You save that money that you were paying, and you'll tackle your credit card debt, or you just save it. And then what they do is that they give you 2 months forbearance, they put those 2 months in the back end
Correct.
of the loan. And you can do that typically like once or twice a year. I did it probably like 4 months ago.
It was one of the biggest things. I think we were talking about it at one point. I was like, it was one of the biggest things that I think, because there was two. Like there was forbearance, and long story short, when it came down to mortgages, like with the rental properties, and it was interest free, if I'm not mistaken. It was interest free, and then they would just tack on whatever you missed payment wise, and then just tack it onto the back end of so on and so forth. Which, in the grand scheme of things, equity would have cleared in 4 months? I don't know, probably.
Yeah.
Right? In the grand scheme of things. And I was like, yo, the two biggest mistakes, actually, financially. And this is an interesting part because it goes into what you believe people would say about your financial situation. Here's what I mean by that. With the forbearance aspect, if you just put it was mathematically smarter to do it on the back end, collect everything that was coming through cash flow wise from your residents, because you never knew if like a resident was going to like fall by the wayside, so on and so forth. It was a very tricky time, right? You were better off accepting the rent that's coming in, no mortgage, tacking it off the back end. The equity clears that pretty much on the back end, and then you're in a mathematically, financially better situation. The other time was when just got out of college, so on and so forth, and I shout out to like my ex-partner on this one, but should have been on food stamps. And I was thinking about it, and I was just like, I'm not broke. Like I don't need to be on food stamps.
Yeah.
Like I was broke.
Right.
Like just finished college, right? Debt. Like student loan debt, obviously, and like you're working like a $35,000 job, $35,000 a year job. Like, yeah, bro, you're broke, but you considered it with like poor and like not being able to, or ghetto, or in the trenches and so on and so forth. When like in the reality out of it, it's just like you should have just claimed the food stamps. And that would have just been one less bill or one less expense, monthly expense that you had to worry about. But because you were so like concerned about, and you wouldn't even tell people.
Yeah,
that was even worse.
Yeah, who would know?
Nobody's gonna know.
Nobody even know. But like mentality-wise, you just thought that you were so good.
The macho mentality.
Yeah.
That's
Of
what it is.
course. Oh,
Yeah.
straight ego,
Yeah.
right? So like, you know what I mean? But that's 2 points where I realized that going or taking advantage of that is actually mathematically and has proven to be mathematically more beneficial than not.
Yeah.
And then that brings to the last point of I just came back from Houston, and to your point, every single time that I'm signing up for a flight, no, I am not. I need to at this point. No, I am not signing up for the extra protection because I don't need it.
Yep.
And ironically, when I booked that Houston flight, I didn't realize that back in February, that New Jersey was going to experience record snowfalls.
Oh man.
And then I wasn't able to get a flight back.
Yeah.
Now, luckily, as a United Miles Plus member, they wound up hooking me up. But it goes to show that, like, for the people that are not in a rewards program or a loyalty program, no, my other friends had to spend that flight
Yeah.
for that exact reason of not taking the extra protection.
Yeah.
All right, let's go into this.
I have one quick question
do
before we
that.
get into that. With YouTube and everything, there's a lot of people are thinking they're credit gurus.
That's a fact.
So, how do you feel about people out there that are like giving bad advice, not giving the real education, not giving people that real foundation, and just charging them out the wazoo?
Yeah, I mean, that's like the norm right now. I feel like, unfortunately and fortunately, there are people that are learning, and not everybody's a bad apple, but I can say that being in this industry 16 years, there's people that are like, oh, I've been doing this for so long, and then like, oh yeah, since 2022. I'm like, it's like 4 years ago. I've been doing this 16 years, and for me, I used to speak on stages teaching other credit repair companies. I used to speak on stages giving back and showing credit repair companies the right way. From like 2014 when I first did on stage, with Mike Citron, shout out to Derek Harper, who taught me a lot when it came to like credit repair and the business and automation. And I think you could say he's probably the first, Derek Harper is probably the first guy that ever taught me how to like truly run a credit repair business, how to hire, how to... So when you're listening to people on social media, look out for like certain clues. If they're telling you, oh yeah, just fill out a FTC affidavit, claim fraud, go to use AI, go to ChatGPT, and then go to CFPB and get everything off your credit report, what does that fix? That fixes the surface, but are you disciplined and do you have the knowledge? Did you change any habits? Did you do anything? So with us, got credit, it's something that you have to feel it. You have to like live it. Do you got credit? Like when you walk into a bank, are you afraid for the teller to look at your credit score, your bank account, and everything? Because you could, let's say you get everything deleted today. You have a blank credit score. What are you going to do to really build your credit score back up to where the bank is going to trust you? So when you're listening to people on social media, just look out, Google them, Google their name, Google their business, find out what they've done, who they've been on, what podcast they've been on. Are you just listening to their social media? AI is everywhere, right? Are they real? Is this an AI? Is this, there's so many AI bots out there that you don't even know. So it's take the information and then Google it. Take whatever they're saying and see if it's factual. See if it's on an article. Like I've been. Thank God I'm blessed. I've been on Forbes. I've been on Entrepreneur Magazine. I've been on Yahoo. I've been featured in certain ads, Smart Money, Muse, to where I'm credited with certain educational parts on credit. Unfortunately, with the regurgitation of information on YouTube and Instagram, just be careful that somebody's not telling you to commit fraud, that somebody's not telling you to lie to the bank. Because listen, if you owe money and it doesn't come off your credit report, what do? You pay it.
Right.
If something is disputed on your credit report, collection, charge off, repossession, whatever the case is, and it doesn't come off your credit report because you disputed it, it's accurate, it's verifiable, it's reporting within the allowable time frame, you as a consumer, you as a person, as a business owner, as a government contractor, whoever, you have to be disciplined enough to say, all right, I want to buy a home in a year, then I have to pay off my debt so that way the bank trusts me with $500,000. But you're listening to people on Instagram and YouTube telling you claim fraud on $15,000. That's preventing you from getting $500,000, $800,000, wherever you're trying to live at. So do everything by the book, and if it doesn't come off of your credit report, it's okay. It's not everything's gonna come off, but just be careful. I'm glad you brought that up because it's one of the things that like I wish I can just go on there and tell the person, hey, listen, man, don't say this, do this. Like I have 16 years. I've been trained by John Alzheimer, Mike Citron, and these are like names. You can Google these names. These are like actual goats in the industry. So like if you bring up like Grant Cardone, he's a goat in that. Tony Robbins, and like John Alzheimer, he's the goat of when it comes to credit. I was trained by him. So like when I see people doing things the wrong way, I sometimes want to slide in their inbox. I'm like, yo, man, don't. But then that's just gonna be a no.
Yeah,
You're dealing with
got credit trying to get advice from me.
Right, you know what I mean. So eventually, like what I would like to do is be involved in some capacity where I can get back into the space of teaching and helping other credit repair business owners do credit repair the right way. So that way we can just make this industry what it is, because I would hate to see this industry grow away because of the bad apples in this space.
Second part to that question is, has credit repair gotten tougher over the years due to these industry gurus?
100%. I just made a video about this on Instagram the other day. There was a lady that had about $240,000 of student loan debt that was her ex-husband's. She filed a complaint. She did a dispute, and they refused to dispute it, to remove it. A lot of people are saying, oh, it's Trump, it's the Biden administration that's better, the CFPB. It's not that. It's because there's so many people that are doing credit repair the wrong way that when somebody comes right now that has debt, that's provided the documentation, the credit bureaus are like, nope, this looks just like the other fraudulent stuff that's coming through, so we're not going to remove it. So right now, being in business 16 years, I literally changed our dispute process. Literally, I was up this weekend changing our dispute process, our letters, our tactics, our templates, our everything on how we dispute and the verbiage, because the laws, everything changes. And as a result of that, as a result of unfortunate people that have lack of education, everything lacks, lack of education, they're not disciplined enough to pay to go to a credit course. There's Credit Con. There's other events that are out there that are designed to put credit repair business owners in a place to where they can learn the right way, but instead they're taking shortcuts. And now the the credit repair system as a whole is taking a hit because I'm pretty sure Equifax Experience Insurance Union has a social media team that's like, they're looking and they're like, all right, that person is saying this, that person is saying this, all right, let's block their disputes. We know what they're going to say here. We know, this is this tactic, all right, this person's saying fraud. And I can tell you, just look up FTC, right? Google FTC credit repair scams. You'll see all the credit repair people that thought they were ahead of the game and slick, and they got trade lines, fraud reports, all this other stuff, and they get shut down. And they don't care. They just start another company down the road, and nobody's really gone to jail for it, which sucks, right? But I mean, I don't want to see nobody go to jail for anything. But at the end of the day, it's when you do credit repair the wrong way, people that need credit repair and that are actually going through things are not going to be able to get the help that they need.
Did you see this? How are we looking on time? 156. Did you see this after, like, during like the COVID era? And the only reason why I ask is because exactly what you're talking about happened in the landlord-tenant game in the same space.
Yeah.
Tenants started taking advantage. They took advantage during COVID. They were like, oh, well, we'll just like, COVID, we don't have to pay, so on and so forth, da-da-da. Landlords got screwed over. And then, in this case, the FTC, which is now the landlords, and now the tenants are coming back like, hey, listen, we have, and like landlords are like, no, if you don't have 2.5 times the rent, amazing credit, assets in the bank, we're not taking the chance on you.
Yeah.
Like, and we don't want to because of everything that we experienced back during COVID.
Yeah.
Did that happen during COVID?
Yeah.
Because I can't remember. I feel like the social media guru really, like, rise really came in, what would you say, like 2018-ish? 2017, 2018.
Because people were bored at home.
And I think COVID put the fire. I think COVID put the gas on that fire.
Yep.
But I would say like 2017, 18. And then like COVID, it exploded. Everybody was home.
Yep.
In-home courses, everybody got free time, which
the cost of living went up. People were doing side gigs, and
right.
Side gigs, so a lot.
And they were doing right by like using the spare time to further educate themselves and so on and so forth. It's just the fact that there was a lot of people out there. Did that happen like around like that?
I would say so
for the most part.
Yeah, because nobody really needed to know what they were selling. All they had to do was go like this.
Yeah.
All they had to do was go like you seen this one when they go like this, and they're like, and they just listening to the person to the side of them, and then they're going up like this. They didn't have to say anything, and then they're selling something, and they're like, "Yup."
See.
And then comment credit below or go like this, top 5 credit cards. You don't have to know anything. You're just regurgitating the information. Next thing you know, those people are like, oh, he must know something because he pointed in the sky. Like, now this thing is, I don't mind when people that know what they're doing do this stuff, but it's like, that's what happened during COVID. And I think you guys know what I'm talking about. When people,
which is why it's funny.
When people are pointing, because I'm like,
so
that's
funny.
what happened, I think, during COVID and the last like 4 to 5 years. That's where the gurus came out. That doesn't make you a guru. You know, what makes you a good real estate investor? Failing probably 3 or 4 times at not doing a real estate investment properly. You know what I mean?
You got about 5 minutes left here. The 2 definite questions that I want to ask. We'll start with this one. Make it as simple as possible. What are the, if you're able to, what are the most common disputes that you see on people's credit report?
Charge-offs.
Okay.
You mean like what do people want us to dispute for them?
Correct. Yeah.
Charge-offs.
Okay.
I think a charge-off is when you enter an agreement with a credit card company, and let's say Capital One, you apply for a $5,000 credit card, you use the $5,000, and then you just don't pay it for whatever reason. Doesn't matter what it's for. Just to say you don't use it, and it goes 180 days past due, so that's about 6 months. The card then gets charged off. The misconception is that a charge-off, once it's charged off, you don't owe the money. See, the thing is, there's a difference between a charge-off and there's a difference between cancellation of debt. When a credit card company cancels a debt, they issue you what's called a 1099-C. You have to claim that on your taxes as income, and then the debt is canceled. You no longer own that money. But that's normally after a few years of the account being charged off. The account can be charged off in July of 2026. You still owe that money. It could be sold to a collection agency. You have the legal right as a consumer to use the Fair Credit Reporting Act to dispute that. And you can use FCRA 623, which is the Furnishers of Information, where they have to make sure it's reporting accurate, verifiable, reporting within the allowable time frame. If they say you owe $5,000, but on the credit report it says $6,000, that's inaccurate. You can dispute that. If the date of last payment is wrong, if the date of last history, that's where as a company I come in and I use the laws to properly attack the accuracy of the account. Doesn't mean you also still don't owe the money. Right? So the charge-off account is the biggest thing we see because there's so many people saying, oh, once it's charged off, you don't owe it. It's legally, they write off the taxes, you don't owe the money. Unfortunately, it's a misconception, lack of education. So we have to teach our clients to know, like, hey, when you get a credit card and you don't pay them, how can you expect American Express to give you a $25,000 credit card if you didn't pay Capital One $500? Come on, the discipline has to come in somewhere. And that's what we educate people on social media. We dispute it. If we dispute it and can't get deleted, we help you settle it and we help you rebuild your credit.
Gotcha. Did you ever want, Marvin? I know we're coming close to time. Do you mind if we do these last two questions? Okay. Do you want to ask one? I got one more.
No, go ahead, go for it.
All right. This is perfect because, sorry, Marvin. It might be a two-part question. Very, 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 very easy. Very, very easy. And then we'll go into the more complex question to finish us off here. Appreciate your time. Do you believe that an 850 credit score is the exact same thing as just getting all A's in school? Meaning it's good on your ability to, like, regurgitate the information, but does it take you far, really?
Well, the thing is, it depends on what type of A. Because you can get an A, I think, at 90. I never had an A in school, so unfortunately, the A...
Neither did I. Except for Spanish, ironically. That was the only thing I had an honors class.
I got a D in Spanish, and I'm Puerto Rican. That's crazy, right?
No, because I found out the other day that, like, normally Puerto Ricans might not all, like, automatically speak Spanish.
No, it's crazy. It's nuts.
I found out a very interesting way the other day, but that's another story.
So A's, when you think about it that way, an A starts at 90. Now, if you had a perfect 4.0, if you had 100, then the thing is it's the same. But an 850 credit score, John Alzheimer had it. I seen like 2 or 3 people with an 850 credit score, right? A perfect 850. My cousin Chaz has one. John Alzheimer. There's a couple other people. The thing is to get an 850 credit score, you could be a freshman and get all A's, right? Freshman in high school, no experience as a senior, and get all A's. An 850 credit score, you got to be seasoned, bro. You got to have like 10. You see what I'm saying? You got to be like a surgeon, doctor, 15. You know, you can get A's as a freshman, but what happens when you're a sophomore? Did you get A's again?
Correct.
Or did you get C's and D's?
Yeah.
Because you ain't getting that 850 if you ever had a late payment you got to have seasoned 10 years of good credit. So if you're bringing it in that aspect of it,
high school,
if you had you
need a whole life of
you got to have years.
Okay.
So yes, it's not the same, but if you're gonna be in high school, you can have all A's, but then you go to college and you start partying and do.
So sorry.
The same weight, and I know where you're getting at because I'm gonna branch it together. Is the same weight of it is it doesn't mean that an 850 on the surface is the same as an A, but a perfect 850 credit score isn't needed because you could do that with a 780, 800 credit score.
That's exactly.
That's what I know you were getting at.
And spot on. And the only reason why I say that is because, like, if I like credit score, like, you know, there's been times where I get like a 785 and I automatically feel like I got to start beating it up.
Yeah.
Meaning like use it, like, you know what I'm saying, take advantage of it, take out the take out the free office, so on and so forth, right? And like you use it to your advantage instead of just saying, I graduated college valedictorian type of status. And like you're using that where you can actually really move your agenda forward, whether it's business, which we're going to go into next. And this is personally my question, last question. So I appreciate you, Marvin, without a doubt, where we want to not beat up, but we want to take advantage of our good credit scores and so on and so forth, not just sit there like a trophy collecting dust.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
So when it comes down to, I think everybody has a genuine idea of like personal versus business credit as far as the conceptual spaces of it. For business ventures, or for business ventures, where on the mortgage end for Soto, where a lot of the best mortgage loans are when you're doing it under your personal. FHA, low down payments, better interest rates. But you can only do it so much. And then you have to go over into the other realm. When using credit to either start a business, expand a business, get funding for ventures, do you recommend using your personal credit, or do you recommend using your business credit, or going after business credit?
Yeah, no, that's a great question, man. I think using business. So like, if John's gonna be looking at somebody's credit to get approved for a mortgage, unfortunately, he's not looking at Dun & Bradstreet, Equifax business, Experian business, right? 9 out of 10 times, you're still going to be looking at your personal credit. So the thing is you have to look at it as a tool. If you get your personal credit to the point to where it's 780, 800, and you leave it there, you use that as leverage to get more business credit. You use that to get more business loans. Even if everybody wants to do something about a personal guarantee. Not everything is done that way. You have to guarantee something. You have to guarantee the banks to get that money. They ain't going to be at a loss, not 100% of the time. So you have to guarantee something. So if your word is what you said it is, and you promise to pay back credit, then yes, get your credit up. Pay everything back if it doesn't get deleted. Get your credit up. Pay on time. Save money in the bank. And when you now walk into a bank and they're like, oh, how much do you want to borrow? Oh, yeah, I got this deal right here. I got this partner right here. We're going to put 10% down. We want to buy this apartment complex. It's $3 million. I got a 780 credit score. All right, we're going to use that as a guarantee. We're going to use the other. Boom. But if you're like, oh, yeah, I don't want to use my personal credit. I want to use business credit. You got a 500 credit score, no money in the bank. Yeah. It's all about discipline. So what I say is before you even start attacking business credit and you get American Express and you get Chase Inc. and you get lines of credit and you get all this financing for the business, make sure your personal house and your personal finances and everything is personal taxes, personal credit, money in the bank, because if God forbid something falls wayside, you have that reserve on the personal side. Well, like, you know what? I can't get that on the commercial side, but you know what? Let me go ahead and get this property on my personal credit for right now, and then later down the road, I can refinance it down the road. But always, always, always never lose sight as a business owner. I'm telling you, never lose sight of your personal credit, because that is the foundation. Your personal credit technically is your first investor, is your first. You're betting on yourself, that risk.
Correct.
How can you expect the bank to take a risk on you business-wise if personally you've been slacking off? So always, always, always make sure your personal credit's in order before you even start attacking business credit.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Hope that answers your question.
No, 150% does. As we start our descent here, and I think it's amazing because, like you said, I think, and as John said, with the rise of like the social media gurus and everybody that's like giving advice on social media, they not that they're a little bit more like neglectful of like your personal credit, and they automatically are like, hey, get 50,000, 100,000, like your business income, and so right. So they automatically like start to push, and I think that's an amazing gem, because for the most part, like a lot of people are just focusing on like the dollar amount and what they can get like on the business funding end, not realizing like you said, like where like your personal credit is just a foundation to everything that you would be able to obtain like on the business end.
Yeah.
So that it makes perfect sense. Okay, as we wrap up here, Jose, where can people find you at?
Yeah, I mean, the best thing to do is
which, by the way, I want to point out your actual program. I know you're there to talk about it.
Yep.
But you were saying earlier where Jose's program does not consist of a bunch of AI bots or people that like you're actually talking and dealing with physical human beings 150% every single step of the way. Please don't be surprised if you can't get Jose on the phone at 2:00 in the afternoon. But at the end of the day, his representatives and his team are there. You will not miss a step. But where can people find you at?
Yeah, no, I mean, I thank you for that, because the way I built Got Credit is we're a family, and literally my family does work
I thought so. I didn't
me.
want to say that.
You know me, my mom, my dad, which is kind of ironic because my mom and dad aren't together anymore, but they work together, which is pretty dope. And is one of the reasons why I think this company exists was to bring my family and for me to meet certain people. You know, John is like my brother from another mother. The only thing that separates us is blood. You know what I mean? So when you have the foundation with my brothers and my sister Emily, Joe and Steve, and we have Veronica, you know, we have Kaylee, we have people that are here. We're a team that is going to be dedicated to your credit more than you, unfortunately, in the beginning, and we're going to care a little bit more about it in the beginning. But when you come to Got Credit, I want you first to not have an open mind. I want you to be ready. Like if you're not going to go to the gym and do weights and everything like that, then don't step in the gym. Don't just walk around. Right. So if you're not with Got Credit, right, you can go to my website. It's great, but go to my Instagram. You can find me on Instagram at The Credit Dude or on YouTube as The Credit Dude. And I want you to first realize, what can you learn from me for free? I had somebody on Instagram tell me today, he's like, yo, man, because of you, I found business credit. I was able to get my first property and buy it out. Not even a client of mine. Just somebody that I just gave knowledge to, right? So what I would say is go on my Instagram, The Credit Dude, on YouTube, and just, you know, Google me, and you can find articles that I've been on or whatever the case is because before you come to Got Credit, I want you to first, am I going to be disciplined enough to follow one of these, if I fit in one of these 3 buckets, am I going to have the discipline, not right now, but in 6 to 12 months, to be able to say, okay, Jose, you know what? I'm at a 520. I'm ashamed. I'm sorry. I wasn't able to get approved for a home, but guess what? In 6 to 12 months, I'm going to be disciplined enough to where whatever you tell me, I'm going to do it, and I can help you because I can't help you if you continuously have late payments, charge-offs, collections, things like that. So yeah, go to my Instagram, The Credit Dude. My website is www.gotcredit.com. And I would love to be a part of your story. I think that's what it's all about. 16 years in, man, I'm just as passionate. I think I'm more passionate about it today than I was 16 years ago. I want to be a part of everybody's story, man. I want people to be like, I don't want recognition for it, but I want to be like, man, because of me, and I don't need anybody posting it, but because of me, I know that guy got a house. I know that guy got a car. I know that guy got his first business credit card. I know this guy got payroll. I know this guy got his LLC. Like my cousin, shout out Diane, she just started her own phlebotomy business, traveling phlebotomy business, and I helped her create her LLC. I say, I didn't do it, but this is how you get your LLC. I love being a part of people's story. And if Got Credit can be a little part of your story, I hope that it builds generational credit for years down the road to where you can then teach your kids, so that way that 18-year-old kid that's in the military will never have to worry about what a collection account is. Their dad taught them it at 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years old, and it all started with the foundation of them understanding what Got Credit is. Because if you don't got credit, we're going to help you teach it, but it's up to us to teach your nieces, your nephews, your uncles. We all got to teach everybody, man, because nobody's going to show us the way. It's up to us.
As Nipsey Hussle said, ain't tripping off the credit. I'm just respecting my dues.
That's it.
At that point. Listen, Jose, man, I greatly appreciate you taking the time. I know you're running around like crazy.
Thank you, man.
For anybody that's in the local markets, Jose is very active and not somebody that's just behind the screens, which I appreciate. Like, he's in the trenches, in the same business streets that we are in. Yep. He's at the trade shows. Yep. He's at the networking events. Yep. No matter how much time that he does have, he's always making sure that he stays tapped in with the community, which is amazing from a sales professional standpoint, because you're literally connecting with the individuals that need you the most.
Thank you, man.
So we're extremely appreciative of it, and I know we've been, talking about getting you onto the show for the longest.
Thank you.
And I'm glad that you was able to tap in finally. Listen, gems on gems on gems dropped. Like, comment, subscribe, share. Be sure to tap in with Jose, the Credit Dude's profile, anywhere that you can see it. Continue to reap these benefits that we kind of take the same thought process of providing this value for free on the blueprint aspect of it, and we're just hoping that we're here to help and be able to answer questions and anything that you actually do want to tap into in with us on the business aspect. Yeah. So we greatly appreciate you, man. Without a doubt. Shout out to Bravery Studios for letting us rock and record in this amazing environment. That gives us this professional feel that we need to communicate our message to the people. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Real Estate Blueprint Podcast. I am your humble host, Austin, more than an agent. My Dominicana hermano, John does real estate, John Soto. And this is the Real Estate Blueprint Podcast, signing off.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.